Hi, welcome. I'm David. This is Simon. We both work for 405 Ads, and today we're going to talk about malware removal and what it does to Google Ads accounts if you don't have it removed. So, Simon's the expert in this, so I'm merely going to be posing questions and they will be answering them. So, to get started, how do you find out that your site has malware? Is
So
the initial question.
yeah, great question. So customers that approach us find out that they have malware until it's too late. So that means Google's already notified them, stating that their website is no longer eligible to be on Google Ads, and they'll usually get.
And what do those notifications? Sorry, I'm just gonna cut right in. What do those notifications usually look like?
They're an email from Google, and I can provide you a snapshot. It's also going to be on the 405 ads uh, website where you can actually see what it looks like. We currently have a post on our website that shows you an exact screenshot of what it looks like. So it's going to be an email. Each ad that you have on Google Ads is really going to get a email. So if you have 100 ads on Google, which is normal for some people, that some people have multiple ads for in one ad group, they're going to get an email for each of those ads once it goes down. So unfortunately, you won't know you have malware until it's too late, unless you're paying a third party tool like a firewall service that notifies you if you have malware and it cleans it up for you automatically or blocks it from happening. So a lot of clients don't have that. They get notified from Google Ads that they do have malware. They get disapproved, and now they're
In the email, it specifies why the ads are banned. It says malware is
yeah.
the reason why your ad is taken down.
Yeah, so the exact wording
Okay,
is going to be malicious software. That's the keyword on
got it.
Google. Malicious software and Google Ads disapproval is usually the subject line of that email.
Okay, well that kind of takes care of my second question. I guess the one of the ultimate questions is how do you remove the malware?
So malware, let's talk about preventing malware and then I'll get into the removal. So to prevent malware, you should have a firewall set up. A firewall is a third party like security where it attaches to your DNS that blocks malicious content from coming to your website in the first place. So preventing it would, you know, your ads won't go down because your website won't get infected with malware. Another way to prevent it is to keep your software, your website up to date. So if you're running software like WordPress, plugins, software on WordPress updates, you want to keep that up to date. Now, to keep it up to date, you want to work with a developer because if you just update things randomly, it could not be compatible sometimes with the latest versions of WordPress or so on. So things can break. So to avoid things from breaking, from protecting yourself from malware, work with a developer who knows what to update and why to update it. But um, basic point, keep your software up to date so that things can't get hacked. Because when they're out of date, like plugins go out of date, um, hackers can get into it and they can pass content, such as malicious content, from outdated plugins to your website. That's how it usually works.
And then as soon as Google crawls a URL that and finds any malicious content, it then will affect all of your associated Google accounts in the sense that Google Ads would also be affected because you're running ads to those URLs.
Yeah, that's correct. So Google will index your website often. So as soon as they see that there's malware, um, your ads are going down. And
Yeah.
if anyone wants to see, like, how do they have malware, right? There's third-party tools that are free for public use that anyone can check by putting their website in. Sitecheck.security.com. A link will be in the description of this video, so check it out. Go to it, enter your website, scan it, and you'll get a free report.
Okay. And then the removal of the malware?
So the removal of the malware is a little bit more complicated. There are companies that do this for a living. 405 ads is one of them. We do remove malware for websites. If you have been hacked, whether your website's been disapproved by Google Ads, or your website's just not working, or it's like redirecting to a different domain, we can help you. So there's companies out there that help you. There's developers that specialize in, let's say, WordPresses that have been hacked that can help you. So if you want an all package where you're fixing the malware, so your Google Ads comes back, and then you're preventing, and then you're taking preventative steps so that it doesn't happen again, you want to work with an agency that can do all of that for you, because there's companies that will fix the malware. Okay, fixing is great, but then preventing it, maybe they don't do that. And then bringing back Google Ads, maybe they don't do that. So that's why people call us, is because we do all of that in one call. We prevent it.
And what is the process for bringing your Google Ads back up? Do you have to prompt Google to recrawl your website and then it will see that you have removed the malware and thus your ads can be reapproved?
Yeah, great question. So when the malware is cleaned, um, some of the bigger companies do provide you proof of what was cleaned, and so do we. We do provide proof of the malware clean. We'll actually tell you what files were cleaned and where they were located on the server. Um, Given that we, as an agency, will notify Google, because we do have a contact at Google that represents our agency. We'll bring it to their attention, and they can escalate it internally to whitelist, what we call it, the account. Because once the account uh, is listed as the domain is listed with malware, you may not just fix it and it can come back. I mean, does that make sense? Like, you can fix the malware, but by fixing
You've
it,
harmed your credibility
yeah,
moving forward.
exactly. So by
You
just
need something. Yeah.
yeah, so by just telling, by just fixing the malware and then just submitting the ads again, by just submitting an ad again, just because you do that doesn't mean you're necessarily going to get approved right away. I've seen it in situations where someone's been they fixed the malware, they tried to initiate the ads again by just making a quick edit, because that's what you have to do. You have to quickly edit the ad for it to go pending status before it goes live. And unfortunately, they were blacklisted. And what does that mean? That means the domain that they have, to Google's point of view, is no longer eligible until higher support whitelist the domain. So what we did as an agency, we went in, we showed proof that the malware was clean, and then we brought it up to higher support. Now anyone can call Google. You can call Google right now with their 800 number, and speak to someone. The benefit with working with a reputable agency is they have a contact that can help you, and by working with con with us, for example, we can get it done. We can get it done sooner. So that's why people call us.
And in the terms of a timeline, about how long does it take from initial contact to 405 ads, taking 405 ads as the service provider in this case, initial contact to malware removed and Google ads backup?
Yeah, great question. So malware is usually cleaned up within 24 to 48 hours. Um, I I rarely seen it reach the 48-hour mark, but sometimes it can take a day and a half. So we like to say 48 hours. For Google to bring it back, it can take a day. It could take upwards of a week. So we have to be on top of it. Thankfully, we've seen it only take like a couple of days lately. When we had an account that's been blacklisted, so we brought it to Google's attention that it's being worked on. The same day we took it in, and then we updated them along the way. And then once it was finally done, it was a go. So the latest one that we did, for example, there's a client that contacted us on a Friday afternoon. We notified Google Friday afternoon because they close at 5 p.m. Our Pacific time. So we notified them before then. We fixed the malware that evening, so we worked throughout the night to get it fixed. So by the time Monday came around, Google received the message that it was, it's been cleaned. So the client was up and running Monday afternoon um, before Google closed. So they were pretty much back the next business day, which is great. So we like situations like that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Is there anything further that I did not ask or that you would like to share on malware removal? I do know that we do have a blog up on our website on the very subject, and now this video is provided as reference to it. Um, but is there anything that we may have missed?
Um, I think we went over pretty much everything when it comes to malware. I mean, it is something that probably no one thinks about until it happens. So, I mean, if it does happen to you, I wouldn't freak out. It's actually more common than you might think because a lot of these websites that are like open CMS, they're vulnerable to being hacked. And by hacked, I mean getting malware. So, should it happen, let's, work with you. We'll work with you and we'll guarantee that your ad account will come back and that the website will be marked clean. Okay?
Well, perfect. Thank you for answering my questions and the world's.
And always, please, if anyone's watching this video, please like it and subscribe to our channel. We always post videos like this that help business owners in the online marketing world.